right, good morning, everybody. It is August 15th, 8:51 a.m. Um, Stuff going on in the markets, right? Um, let's get into it. I did a weekend video, so I'm going to do a really quick recap of what I saw. Okay. Or what I'm seeing in the market. Just to go over briefly what I said SPX. Wow, that's a loud noise above me. SPX has went over the 50% retracement fib line, and that's a lot of noise. Hopefully, you guys don't hear that much. Okay, then we got some resistance coming up here. Okay, made a nice move on Friday on the 4307 level. To me, is key. Okay, have a bunch of resistance, 200 moving average, trend line coming here. Um, so SPX, I was just saying that it's a little stronger of a move than the NDX. Just to recap, the NDX has a really key level that I'm looking at. So the really key level that I talked about is this level. Okay, it's the 13542. Okay, it still is trying to resolve it, right? It broke it a little bit on Friday, but not a full break. Okay, so that key level is still 13542 in the Nasdaq. Okay, obviously because of this consolidation here, this is acting as resistance. Okay, have a trend line also coming into resistance and the 200 moving average, but really this level is my level I have to watch. We're going to go higher once that level gets broken. That's the Nasdaq, moves markets, very heavily weighted in the S&P, the tech stocks. So that's what I'm looking for as far as the Nasdaq and the SPX. Now let's move over to the futures. Give me 1 second. I'll give you the futures. Give me 1 second. All right. So let's look at the ES overnight. Okay. Let me get my trusty marker here. All right. So obviously we had low volume after the morning on August, and we basically melted up. So we basically went up here. Okay. And most traded price was right at the top of the session. Okay. So now what happened? We gapped down a little bit off the open last night at 6 p.m. and we're now opened here and we're 100% net short. That means everybody overnight is short. Okay. Where did we come? Where did we come to? Where are we at right now? We're at the 50%, or the mid. Some people call it overnight halfback, but it's basically half the move higher we made on Friday. That's where we are right now. And I think that's very key. 50% retracement, right? Hence, we're getting a little bounce right here. Not a big bounce, I'm just saying. Hence, that's why we're kind of hanging out there. That's kind of like a line in the sand, you know? If we can hold this, then maybe we go higher. Okay? That's just something I'm seeing right now. China definitely had some news. Slowing economy. It's kind of tanking oil right now. And it's affecting the markets here a little bit. But I don't want anybody to get fooled into looking at price action like, oh my God, this is the bear move back, because we're at the half of this move. So that's the line in the sand, 50% retracement. Can we fall farther? We can. And just to point out, I always do, most trader price of the last week is 42.10. Okay, 42.10. So that's our line in the sand for bull bear. Okay, that's the line in the sand. Keep that in mind. 42.10. All right. So let's move over to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is setting up with that key level I spoke about. Okay. So Nasdaq, we already know we went higher, but guess what happened? We hit this key level, right? The key level that I want to see broken when I showed you the NDX. We still have not able to break it. Okay, we've not been able to break this level. So this is setting up, and this is now considered weak highs. Okay, these are weak, which means that there's just sellers there. Okay, and what's going to happen? You think if we come knocking on this door a fourth time, I would say we most likely pierce it, come down, and we could finally make the move to make our markets go higher. Okay, that's why that level's so key for me, because once that level in the Nasdaq breaks, okay, Nasdaq's 27 point. I mean, I'm sorry, XLK, which is tech, is 27.9% of our S&P. That's gonna raise the S&P to go higher. That's the biggest fuel you need for the market, the overall market to go higher. It's a very important level. Okay, so one thing of note as well is where is 50% retracement in the Nasdaq, right? It's 130, 134.71. Now you look at here, the Nasdaq is stronger than the ES right now. It hasn't went to this level. That's just a little market generating information, right? Like, so the Nasdaq has not come down to the 50% level. It's holding higher. Okay, so that's very important to look at. Now what I want to just go over is we can go over to the 60-minute futures charts just to see what key levels I have, any patterns if I'm seeing it. Give me one sec. And before we do that, I'm going to just look at the volumes, the relative volumes for right now really quickly. And we have crude, which is already is going about to open in about 2 minutes, the RTH. But on the overnights, we have 100% relative volume because of the China news. Crude's selling off. Crude's right now, it's down 5.44% at $5 a barrel. That's huge. Okay, so I'm waiting for that to open in 5 minutes. Okay, I'll go over that quickly. Crude too as well. Nasdaq is at 73% relative volume over the last 20 days. ES 87%. Okay, the ranges aren't super wide right now, but they're pretty decent in the overnight. Okay, so let's go over the futures chart, look at some key levels, look at maybe a pattern I'm seeing, my supply and demand zones. Let's look at that. All right, so starting off, I'm going to start with the ES. Okay, and now we're starting to crack that 50% a little bit, which I was talking about. But I have overnight levels here on the coral color. All right, so what I see here obviously is we're selling off a little bit. I have a supply zone that I charted here. Okay, a good trend line here. Let's look at this trend line that's been kind of honored. Okay, starting here, we have one touch, two touch, three touches. So this could be a place to find buyers, or the demand zone here that was plotted. Okay, could get a bounce there. Okay, I don't see this still being crazy selling yet. Okay, but those could be bounce points, right? Um, I was seeing a descending triangle forming, but that didn't form fully. It didn't fill up the triangle. But that's okay. And then we have this dominant, not dominant, I would say downtrend line that's been forming since the overnight. Okay, I don't put too much weight into that, but that's just levels I'll look at to see if we get any bounces. Okay, crude just opened, catching a bid off the open, but we'll get back to that crude. All right. So key levels for today. What are we looking at? Okay. So my key level first for the overnight would be this 42.63. Got a lot of shorts here in the overnights. Another key level 42.76. Okay. And then of course 42.82. So that's a lot of resistance for buyers to overcome. Okay, I'm not saying we're going to crush right through them, but Those are levels where shorts now are sitting at. Okay. Key level for support would be 42.15, 42.08, and a very main one is 41.94. Okay, I'm not saying we go there. That's just the lines I'm looking at. Don't see much of a pattern forming here. We do have a little channel going on here. You can see that one here and one here. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing in the ES. I'll get to some intraday moves that can happen later. So as far as the Nasdaq, what are we seeing here? So the Nasdaq, I'm gonna get my marker out. The Nasdaq, we have that key level here. That's the key level that I'm looking at. I keep talking about it right here. Okay, that level, just for clarity again, that is 135.81. That's the key level for me. That will shoot our market higher if it breaks and it holds. Okay. Now I'm gonna actually adjust a couple levels here because I see this has been broken. This was an overnight support. I'm gonna move this now to here. We have shorts lined up at 135.57 too. Okay, but the only position I'm really gonna care about, I mean, only position, the only level that I'm gonna care about is that level up here. Okay. Can you say this is a bull flag? Kind of, kind of. I'm not gonna say too much about that, right? But this area right here, okay, for the overnight, just as for the overnight, popping off and open, this level and this level here, break it. We could tag this trend line. We break it up. We're definitely gonna see if we can break this one, right? So these overnight levels are sometimes why you see movements quickly in the off the opens, because the weekends overnight, basically get squeezed or liquidated. That's really why that happens. Okay. Because people don't really look at futures. If they're looking at SPY or something, they're concentrated more on the RTH levels, not the overnight levels. Okay. So let's move over to my market profile zoomed in chart. So let's do that. All right. And now let's talk about possible trades off the open. We'll give the three scenarios here. Okay. Okay. So, like I said, most trader price. And those longs now have poor location. Just for now, they do. Okay, they're underwater. Waking up, seeing that, oh man, I went long at the top. Well, they got poor location now, right? Okay, so this is what I'm seeing. If we're going to make a bull case, we could open, come down, hold this 50% retracement, move up, break the overnight level, move up, come into the supply zone, come back up, break this level overnight, and then we're squeezing the shorts today. Okay, that's one scenario. Let's go with the bear scenario. Okay, bear scenario would be, I would think we could maybe pop up, find resistance, come down, chop around over these overnight lows, take out the overnight lows, come down here. And that when I say bear, I'm not saying market crash. I'm talking about just we go lower, and I say we probably pop back up here. Okay. Other scenario, I would say, okay, is I'll give you the most bearish one, which I don't see really happening, but that's if we open, come up, come down, chop, come into this demand zone and break it. Then I say we chop here. The most traded price of the week, 42.10. All right, that's what I see. Okay, but the real telltale for me is the Nasdaq. What the Nasdaq is really important for me. What it does today. Now, just to give you a real overscope of what I'm seeing, is made a big move in the ES. I'll just say big move, came back down to 50%, and we're holding it, right? Last scenario, I mean, we could come up and just balance today in here. Don't know. I'm just saying, I don't see over bearish. This is taking some froth off of the move on Friday. That's all I'm seeing, right? Not going to overreact to this price action. Nasdaq, let's go over it, right? It hasn't gone to the 50% retracement. It's still stronger than the ES. Okay, we do have overhead supply with the supply zone up here. Okay, so what do I see here? Okay, a little different here. So we're here right now. Okay, if we'll make the bull case. Okay, let's say we come down, break this level, come down to 50%. What we could do is come up here to supply, chop around a little bit. If we break this and hold it, we're going higher. It's gonna bring the ES with it. That's the one bull case, right? Now, bear case. Bear case is we open, come down, come to the 50%, kind of hang around. And I would say this is a key level too. So we can come down here. This is the most traded price of the week, 13400. And I say we could chop around here and maybe fall into the demand zone. And I feel like we could probably pop and we could balance for the rest of the session. Okay. That's what I see for that. Now, I've talked about this in depth as well. Okay. Down here, we have pretty big levels down here. Now, maybe that's confusing to you because I'm mentioning the most traded price of the week. So I want to preface, plot two different ways. This value area high, value area low for the last 5 days, and the most traded price here, that is ETH. That is all trading hours. Okay. That's all trading hours. Okay. Because the futures market trades 24 hours a day almost, besides an hour. Okay. So that's that. But then on this purple box is still the most traded price of the RTH sessions. So I held them both. A lot of times they line together, but sometimes they don't. Okay. So that's still plotted here. Okay. And what I'm seeing is this. This is a wall I was talking about. This is the bull bear line for the Nasdaq. Most traded price of the month, most traded price of the week. So we really need to violate this and hold it in order for this market to go lower. It's just a wall though. These active walls, man, they're hard to break. But if they do, they break. They make big moves from there. Okay, so that's kind of where I don't see us going below that today. Okay, so we could come down. Like I said, bull case. We break it. I said we're going higher everywhere. However, we can come down here and come down, find a demand zone, pop up, and kind of balance here for the rest of the day. Okay, I don't see a real thing. If it does, like I said, it can get a big move, but that's not what I'm seeing. Can change my mind, but maybe not. Okay, last thing I want to go into is just crude, just to show you crude, and it already opened, so I'm a little late because I would like to trade this open. But let's go over to the 60-minute charts really quick to show you what I'm seeing. Crude has just got a massive drop here. We're at a key level. It actually broke my demand zone here, and we're right at the 200 moving average, that red line, and a key support level. I mean, you can see it if I zoom out. This is key. We haven't been able to really get follow through below it. So that's my level I'm looking at. All right, that's the level I'm looking at. And that's about, for crude, that's what I'm looking for. If we fall below it, okay, if we fall below that level, which is about 87.15, if we fall below it, come back up, and I see like there's weak buying, I'm gonna short that. But this is a 200 moving day average, so 200 moving average, so I'm gonna be a little cautious with it. Now, if we come up, get some strong buyers, come back to it, hold it, I might go long. And this is very emotional selling here. So that can get ripped right through it again in crude. We'll see though. That's kind of what I'm seeing in crude. All right. So I wish everybody good luck today. Should be an interesting day. I mean, it's August, but we're getting some nice volatility still. And comment, subscribe, give me a like, be much appreciated. And I'll be back tomorrow morning.